Hello friends, my name is Catherine and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a donut box to hold these donut pattern weights that I showed you the other day. I had the hardest time figuring out what I wanted to make this donut box out of. It ends up being just too big for a normal sheet of paper or even a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So it took me a bit to figure it out because I wanted something heavier than paper anyway. And what I ended up on was a 3-ring folder. I don't know if you can see it there, but that's where the rings were for the folder. And it ends up being altogether 13 inches across by 9.5 tall. The measurements on this are from left to right: 1 inch, 5 inches, 1 inch, 5 inches, 1 inch, and from top to bottom 1 inch, 7.5 inches, and 1 inch. This is one of my favorite box patterns because it is so adaptable. I have learned it well enough that I can do it through whatever size box I need to. The trick is to always make sure that your edge pieces are always the same width, which is why those are all 1 inch, and then that your main rectangles are the same size as each other, and everything else will just fall into place. Now, I have cut it to size, and I've cut the tabs, so I've clipped the tabs on it, but I haven't done the front or the back where they're going to slide together, and I haven't done the window out yet. The opening on the front and the back is 1 inch at the high point and 2 inches at the low point, and 1 inch between for the middle. And the wide section is just more than 1 inch wide so that the tab can fit into it. I'm going to go ahead and start by cutting these out. Then we will color in our pattern and then cover the whole thing with contact paper and assemble it. Let's get started. Just going to start by cutting on this first end here. It's meant to be a simple and easy box, so it shouldn't be too difficult. We've given you all the measurements already so that you can remake it yourself, but you can also change any of those measurements so long as you keep any of the ones that match each other, matching each other. And you can change everything else. Go. All right, that is our closure tab done. I'm going to round that off just a little bit more. And then our closure tab for the other side, because this will be, these two tabs will be the front of the box, and they are meant to overlap, which is why you need 2 of them. All right, there we are. Okay, so let's test it to make sure everything fits together. All right, so this is going to be the box and the ends, and that's going to close right in there. And it works. Success. Okay, then we need to cut out the window in the front. For that, I want to use an X-Acto, and I've got one over here that I just found in my stash the other day, if I can find it again now that I've set it down. Let's see. Not in with the paintbrushes. Not in with the pencils. Actually, nope, that's a Sharpie. Ah, there it is. Found this one the other day, and it's got a smaller blade on it, so I should be able to turn corners easier with it in theory. So So I've got a couple of cutting mats set down under here actually. Let's just start by trying to cut our straight edge and curving hopefully, and then straight again, and then curving, and straight all the way over. And curve. And this is going to be the tricky part because I want it to follow the bottom edge of each of the letters here, which is why I want it to be able to curve so well. If you want to be able to do letters like this, it's actually not too difficult. What I do is I measure, well, I'm cutting right now, but I measure how tall I want the letters to be and put straight lines all the way across, and then I measure how wide I want the letters to be so that I end up with rectangles that are the size that I want the letter to fill in the shape for, and then I just draw the letter inside of that so they always end up filling this space provided for them just perfectly. So each letter would have its own rectangle that it fills in. I forgot where I was. Right there. Okay. Ooh, fire truck. Go and cut. Okay, the window should come out. Perfect. All right, set that aside. And set our X-Acto knife aside. Actually, that's not quite straight enough for me right here at the bottom edge. Looks like I went a little wavy just there. Let's see if we can't just skim it off and straighten it out. Not sure I'll be able to. I might have to go to the scissors for that. Yeah. It's hard to go right on the edge of something with an X-Acto knife. They like to slide off, but scissors can usually do it. And once you've got your space cut out, you can get the scissors in there much straighter. Okay. So now we're going to color our design in. And I've decided I want to do it with gel pens, but it would be just as easy to do with colored pencils or to paint with watercolor paints or acrylics. I just happen to want to do colored pencil, or not colored pencils, gel pens. Alright, so we're going to want to cut our contact paper firstly to the correct width. And this contact paper is marked out, let's see here, with lines on it. So all I have to do is find the right line, and I think that's going to be that one right there, that one that's marked at 15. So let's turn everything around again so that it's facing us and completely forget, there we go. Three, 4, 5, 6. There we are, that one right there. And then just cut on that line so that we have something which is hopefully the correct width when we hold it back up to the box. And this is clear contact paper, so that's the backing that's got the grid on it, which makes it easy for cutting, but also means that I'm not going to be putting a grid on this, on the finished box. Okay, so let's hold our box back up to that and make sure that we actually cut it to the right width, and we did. Awesome. And then slide that down to the end. And down to the end and find our line right there. We'll go off of this line. I think it'll end up a little bit long, but we can fold it over, so that'll be fine. And take and cut on the line. Alright, there we go. Set that excess aside, this smaller piece aside, because we're going to need it in a second. But let me pull out from underneath there my smaller cutting mat, because that's going to create a lumpy spot. And the trick, there we go, let's set those aside as well. The trick to contact paper is to start at one corner. There we go, if I can separate it off of the backing. There we go. The trick is to start at one corner while leaving the rest of it still with the backing on it, and just make sure that everything is lined up and straight. Lined up and straight. Okay, now we are ready to assemble, well, I say assemble, ready to fold together our box. I'm thinking for glue, I want to use super glue. It's fast, so I don't have to sit here and hold it forever and a day while I'm waiting for it to dry. It's easy, and it's specific. If you know what I mean by specific. I mean that it'll go where I want it to and hardly any place else. Okay, so where I want it to go is, if you're looking at it from this end, I want it to go in between that triangle, so in the top triangle space. So open up my super glue and hopefully put some glue on there. I'd have to break the super glue off of the end first. So it opens back up. Aha, there we go. And squeeze it into place. Sort of, kind of, maybe. Aha, there we go. Ooh, not everywhere else though. And then fold it shut and hold it in place and make sure that it's square and even and that I can lift up the inside triangle right here, because I do not want that glued down. Square and even and in place. There we go. And the inside triangle is not glued. Awesome. Now just to do it for the other three without getting super glue all over myself, which I can tell you now is just like a goal that I'm not going to achieve. Let's see. There we have a box. So we can put our super glue away. It's not sitting flat now, but it will once it's got the donuts inside of it. So let's put the donuts inside of it. All right, donuts inside, and then these side flaps need to bend this way, which I've never done with them yet, so they're pretty stiff, but they will loosen up once they learn how to do it. And then this front flap needs to fold downward, and these tuck to the inside. And the front flap tucks to the outside. Come on, you. How did I mess that up? There we go. And the front flap tucks to the outside. And there we have it. A donut box with So Good donuts in it. They're so good because they're pattern weights. So they let you sew good. That's super cute. I love it a lot. I'm very happy with it. I hope my sister is too, because it's what she's getting anyway. So that is how it turned out. And then, when you're not using it, you can take the pattern weights out, and like all good donut boxes, it should being the operative word, might take a little insisting, but aha, no, it totally will. It will fold flat and collapse down flat. And that's because we did those corners on angles. So the corners were the 1 by 1 inch sections, and the angle went directly from one to the other. There we go. All right, and then you can stand it back up and open it back out as a box and tuck your flaps back into the corners and put your donuts back inside. And that's it. Well, if you liked this video, let me know. I am always happy to hear from you. If you want to see more videos like this. If you have any ideas for other videos or boxes that need to be made, if there's a box that just needs to be made, let me know and I'll do a design for you. I gave you all the measurements of this one in the beginning. And let's see, anything else? No, have a great day. And oh, remember to subscribe, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.